There's been mixed reviews to the capacity of government with regards to handling the COVID-19 pandemic. The performance of municipalities and the capacity of local government structures have also been under the spotlight, and it follows the release of the Auditor General's latest report, which found that more funds are being misused at a local government level. We're joined by Dr. Makhosi Khoza, who is the CEO of Ukoko Innovations and a former member of Parliament. Good evening, Dr. Khoza. It's a pleasure to have you with us tonight. Firstly, just your analysis of how government has been handling its response to COVID-19 so far.
You know, the government started off very well. We were all hopeful that this process is going to be managed well. However, when the money started coming in you know, I think the government just lost the plot there, because we know that this country is riddled with corruption, and it's at uncontrollable levels as we speak. So I think they have not done so, and I also think that even their strategy to open the schools during the peak of the flu season, I don't think was a well thought out strategy, and not necessarily opening those sectors where you have adults that you can control. I mean, look at what happened in the Eastern Cape. 198 learners found to have COVID-19. So really, I don't understand. I don't think that the government is planning as systematically. They seem to be approaching this COVID-19 in silos. You know, they don't look at what the Department of Education is doing and what is the negative knock-on effect of that strategy on the entire economy.
So when you look at it then, do you feel that we're long past the point where the responses of the different MECs and how they, the different ministers rather, and how they're implementing their own resolutions for their departments, that is not necessarily synchronized to a joint national strategy?
Definitely, definitely. And unfortunately, where I am in KwaZulu-Natal, we've actually seen how even this very old, that the different departments are even using this very pandemic to loot the resources of the state. And they are giving their cronies, the tenders. It's really not about mitigating mitigating with the risk of COVID-19. It's really all about eating.
What do you think is going to be the cost of this corruption on the government's ability to respond effectively to the increasing number of COVID-19 cases?
First and foremost, it's going to be the cost of lives. As you've already been saying, that in Northwest, we are already seeing that happening. And it's going to be happening in other provinces. And I really don't think that the government response is now as coherent as it was when it started. When they started off very well. We're all hopeful. But the minute they started opening, you know, they were backtracking. They started, you know, unbanning cigarettes. And we say, why are you unbanning cigarettes? This is a respiratory disease. Then they backtracked. You know, so it's been backward and forward, and you have corruption on the other hand. We've seen other people buying Maseratis, buying, you know, your Lamborghinis and whatnot, when we are all trying to grapple with this pandemic.
Do you think that part of the response, especially when you look at the response at a local level, do you think that there is capacity within the local level to respond adequately to COVID-19? And I also want to bring in the role of Parliament as performing an oversight over what the national government is doing.
Let me start with local government, because it's a sphere of government that is closest to my heart. I mean, I spent over 20 years in that sphere. You know, I really don't think that we have paid sufficient attention to this very important sphere of government, especially when you are dealing with issues of finance management, of planning, And as I speak to you, even eThekwini municipality, which is supposed to be the best where I live in KwaZulu-Natal, is actually not managing its own strategies very well. That is because you have a chronic shortage of leadership. And the chronism, you get people that are appointed into positions. And remember, local government is more complex than national and provincial government. Local government, you are not just dealing with one department where maybe you are dealing with minerals and energy, and that's the only department you are dealing with. At local government level, we are dealing with everything from cemetery to water to sanitation to electricity to roads infrastructure, municipal roads infrastructure, waste management, and so forth. And the ANC, the ruling party in particular, is not deploying its best cadres at this very important sphere of government. And at national level, obviously, we can see that how this COVID-19 is managed at municipal level, it's kind of people that are very scared and they don't know how to deal with a crisis. And I see that happening as well, even at national level, but we feel it's most at local level because all that are happening at a municipal level. They don't happen at national level.
How can things be
done differently? If you get my point.
How can things be done differently, Dr. Khoza?
I honestly do think, there was a stage, at some stage I was the CEO of SALGA. And unfortunately, even though I started with KwaZulu-Natal Local Government Association as the CEO, we started an academy that was focused on training municipal officials in particular and councillors that are in the leadership positions. And DPLG at that stage, which was called DPLG, which is now COCTA, decided that, okay, fine, they were going to open the local government academy. When I went to SALGA, I went there because it was becoming clear that because we had a best practice at KZN level, therefore we are going to be able to do that at national level. But that didn't happen. That local government academy never happened. And that is why we have with these capacity issues. Local government is at its worst than it has ever been financially. And you are going to see more big municipalities now collapsing. We've seen what has happened in Mfuleni. We've seen what has happened in Makana in the Eastern Cape. We've seen it with all the small municipalities all over. In KZN, Pietermaritzburg, the capital, has been under administration for more than 3 consecutive terms. It's been under administration. And that is the big municipality, the second biggest municipality in this province. And it's the capital of KwaZulu-Natal. So you can see that instead of improving, we are getting worse at municipal level. And this is going to start affecting the metros.
Dr.